Hello, chat. Welcome to another episode of Magic the Gathering Standard with Logan and Kelly. I'm Kelly. This is my friend Logan here. We're still running an ad on some Battle Styles packs in the chat, so definitely check those out. They're like $3. Why would you not get some Battle Styles?
They're stupid. They're super insane, and if you didn't watch earlier, Watson made out like a maniac. Bought 10, won a giveaway, and then pulled like his money worth in those packs.
So today, we're going to be going over some of the Forgotten Realms spoilers, and I guess pulling what little bit of hair I have left out as we think about what's about to happen to Standard.
Me and Kelly already looked at it, and things are getting worse.
Oh my goodness. We will be playing some Arena today. We're not sure what deck we'll be playing. We'll probably work with you guys to see if we can figure out building a new deck, what we can do with our current deck to see if we can make it actually work. But let's just jump straight into talking about these spoilers because there's no way around. There's no way around them.
Some of them are really, really good, and I'm excited. Others make me want to hurt Wizards. Not really, but the cards are obnoxious. Panda, hello.
Hello,
Also,
Panda.
we still have 2 packs of Modern Horizons 2
That's true.
set boosters. So we saw, I think it was Gerudo Bear last time, pulled a foil fetch. So
We also haven't given out any web credit today.
we sure have not.
So somebody in the chat's getting some web credit today. Just saying.
Me and Drew got caught up on those Pokemon packs earlier.
Nice.
It was a good time. We also managed to kill a Graveler. People don't let me sleep, so I'll hang out with you guys while I work.
Hell.
I mean-
we need your opinion on stuff anyway, because we're about to start screaming at the top of our lungs. So we're pulling up from Mythic Spoiler. There is a slight chance some of the cards that we would be looking at could not make it into the set, but it never really happens with Mythic Spoiler.
Hardly ever.
Usually they are on point with all of the cards that they actually post up here.
Yeah.
And we've seen most of these cards from multiple sources. If you just look over on Reddit or on Twitter, you'll find a couple of them.
Is it the big yawn that is the D&D set?
Panda.
For
Let's get into it. Okay?
Yeah.
So, first of all, we'll start with the Beholder. Xanathar Guild Kingpin. Let's pull this card up.
he's too good.
First of all, Beholders freak me out, chat. Look at the artwork. They freak me out, okay? I don't like them to begin with. So for 6 mana, 4 colorless, a blue and a black, you get a legendary creature as a Beholder. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. Until end of turn, that player can't cast spells. You may look at the top card of their library at any time. You may play the top card of their library, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast spells this way.
Oh, it hurts so bad. Imagine waking up to a Beholder looking you in the eye. I mean, it's like when I look in the mirror, it's what I see.
It's getting
so.
slapped across the room.
Uh,
Control is already a valid deck type in Standard right now. But the Rogues variant is ridiculous. Now, does Rogues want to be playing 6 mana cost spells? No. But can they rotate this card in to ruin your time when you're playing a control deck? Yes.
Yes, they can. They can side into it, baby, at will.
The strength of this card is ridiculous. I'm glad that it was printed as a mythic. But I do think that even though it is a commander card, and it will be strong in commander, it will have a presence in standard as well.
You'll also probably be seeing a lot of this, especially when we get to the TVT, where this is our core set. Any Magic player that could look at the surface of cards and see that this is in our pool as a staple is probably going to be playing this. Yo, thank you, Chris. Gave a tier 1 sub to Wing Zero and you server. Severus? Sorry if we're butchering that.
It's something, okay? And I didn't say whatever stupid thing JT said, so
It's true.
can't put me in the same box. So I do think Xanathar will be good. It's not the most broken component in this set, though, that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
We'll go on to another card that keeps me up at night. Priddle of Baldur's Gate. The 2-mana rogue.
Yay.
So whenever the creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses 1 life and mills a card, and you gain a life and scry 1. Tom Mellon. So already Rogues is strong enough. Why are we printing more Rogues cards? And then his second ability, whenever you attack, you may pay 2. If you do, target creature cannot be blocked this turn.
So it triggers before block, so you can't even miss it.
And
I mean,
then
you
chat,
can if you click through, but you don't get to miss it.
What's the rogue in the rogue deck right now that lets them replace an unblocked rogue and place it in the battlefield, then take something out of your graveyard? Xanath or Xerath?
It makes it a lot better.
It's just ridiculous. Rogues did not need any more cards, and that's all we're doing.
Xerath's saying.
Yeah, Xerath saw. To continue on the rogues path, we have Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a 3-mana sorcery. It is 2 blue and a colorless. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until that player has exiled cards with a total mana value of 20 or more.
That means if you play a lot of 1-drops, you're at least going to mill 20 cards. Like if every card in your deck was 1 CMC and they did not hit any lands, you just milled 20, which is a third of your deck.
Already when Rogues is causing you to discard so quickly, adding cards on top of this into the pile, it's not going to make for a great state.
Yeah, no. Like that can kill you on like turn 4.
I think that Rogues, you're going to see a lot more of Rogues going forward, which sucks because if you play Arena now, you know that you see a lot of Rogues to begin with. So back to building 80, 100 card decks with Midnight Clock in the main board because I don't know what else we can do.
No. Oh, and this exiles it?
So we don't get them back anyway.
You'll never get them back.
What else did we say was broken for blue?
A couple of things. Bar the Gate's kind of cool.
Yeah, here's our counter spell for the set. So creature or planeswalker spell. Yeah. 3 mana. Venture into the dungeon. Okay, I enjoy that. I like the dungeon cards so far, which I guess would be remiss if we don't talk about them.
Oh, there's the blue rogue that was introduced like one of the first spoilers. Shortcut Seeker. It's just a 2/5. Its body's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a rogue.
Yeah, I don't see him being used much because of his mana cost, but the 5 toughness on him actually makes him fairly difficult for most decks to get rid of him.
We were talking about the red boy. That was you can.
Oh. So let's go over our new red deck wins combo that we're probably going to be building.
You can do it on turn 2.
So they gave us a turn 2 win for some reason. So Minion of the Mighty for 1 red mana with Menace comes in as a 0/1. His ability, Pack Tactics, says whenever Minion of the Mighty attacks, if you attacked with a creature with a total power of 6 or greater this combat, you may put a dragon creature card from your hand onto the battlefield, tapped and attack. In Theros, there's a dragon that comes down and gives attacking creatures double strike and has double strike himself and deals 10 damage by himself.
Yeah.
So turn 1, we cast our Minion of the Mighty. Turn 2, we cast our 2 Infuriates.
Which is also in standard.
And then we get a Terror of Mount Velis for free.
Which, if you haven't counted, 3 + 3 is 6. Double strike makes it 12. 5 + 5 is 10. That's 22 on turn 2. They killed you on turn 2 Because you couldn't block it because it's got menace.
And the other creature has flying. What? Yes, it's janky. Yes, it probably won't work 100% of the time. But there's enough stuff in red that I can throw this in.
Yeah, and if they're not killing you on turn 2, like they now have a viable way to kill you on turn 2, if not 3, 4, 5, and 6 now. Like they kind of do have a way just to kill you, literally starting from turn 2 and up.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
You are on the clock at all times.
Let's see. What else were we looking at?
The black planeswalker.
Lolth.
Yes, wild.
Yes, the Spider Queen. So whenever a creature you control dies, put a loyalty counter on Lolth the Spider Queen. Her 0 ability is you draw a card and lose 1 life. Decent. -3, create 2/2/1 black spider creature tokens with menace and reach. Super useful. -8, you get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures you control, if that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose equal to the difference.
Yep.
So I had to explain this to a friend. They were confused by it because they felt like it would only do at most 8 damage. That's after the damage has been calculated. So if they dealt you 4 damage from their creatures, you still take that 4 damage plus the difference between 8, which is 4 more damage. If you get Lolth cracked, it would be ridiculous. And in a deck like the pest control decks that we're seeing run rampant right now, with the Bastion of Remembrance and just sacrificing everything on their side of the field, why do they care? Lolth could get big really fast in just a few turns. In just 1 turn, honestly.
What's the big 9-drop 10/10 do? This guy.
Let's pull him up. Tarask, the legendary creature. It's a dinosaur. Thick.
It gains ward and haste.
Ward 10.
you can't kill
Ward
it unless
10.
you pay 10.
Okay. It fights target creature defending player controls when it attacks.
And that's before blockers, so it can take out the biggest blocker you have first.
That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. That's kind of wild.
I like Zariel as a red planeswalker. It gives you his ultimate ability will give you an additional combat phase every turn. I feel like he'll probably be more of a standard planeswalker or a commander planeswalker than he will be a staple in standard. But you never know what we'll see this set. I don't like Icing Death Frost Tyrant. 4 mana for a 4/3. It's flying in vigilance. When it dies, it creates an equipment that is basically a frost attack. So it taps a creature whenever it attacks.
Oh boy.
It does help in a lot. Probably the white tempo decks or white weenies. It would help a lot, but I don't know. I feel like it should have that ability on top of the creature as well, not just on the equipment, which is all it has.
The Book of Vile Darkness makes stacks. Stupid
So what are
good.
the other cards that go with it? It was
So it's artifacts. So it gets the triggered effects. So that means enter the battlefield effects. So if you're playing like anything that says when it enters the battlefield, do something, like doesn't matter how bad it is. If it's just like a 3 mana draw 1 card, whatever, it enters the battlefield with everything that was exiled. It gains all those effects.
so, but you exile it with. So you exile the Book of the Vile Darkness
Then
and
you make an
artifacts you
8/8.
control named Eye of Vecna and Hand of Vecna. Create Vecna. And it gains all the triggered abilities of
So we
those
don't
exiled
know,
cards.
Yeah, we don't know what it does yet, but I'm pretty sure that if they're making it a 3-card piece, it's either going to be really, really good or it's going to be really, really bad. But the fact that it's just an 8/8, kind of good. Not to mention the first effect that if a creature you control dies, you get to make a 2/2. Always really powerful. If you look back to the Amonkhet Hour of Devastation, there was a Liliana's enchantment that said whenever a creature dies, make a 2/2 black zombie. It was really good. Like as the curve topper for standard, that's on 3. It's kind of really good.
Let's see. Dragon Turtle is kind of cool, just because I like turtles. 3 mana flash, and it basically taps target creature an opponent controls. They don't untap during the next untap step. The turtle becomes tapped as well, though. Let's see.
Gelatinous Cube.
Gelatinous Cube is crazy. So for 4 mana, it's a 4/3. It comes in with Engulf. So when it enters the battlefield, exile target non-ooze creature opponent controls until Gelatinous Cube leaves the battlefield. And then, if you pay the mana cost of the creature plus 1 black, you get to put it in their graveyard. So basically, you just kill it.
Yep. Then you have Wish, which is basically just Fae of Wishes. So like now, like Grixis decks and these things just have extra ways to get into their sideboard, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not powerful the way that Fae of Wishes is, where you can cast it on turn 4 and on turn 5 do whatever you need it to do.
You don't have to play the trash learn cards.
Right.
You can just grab them now without having to pay those
but
stupid effects.
This does have to be played that same turn, so the card would fizzle out. So you may play a card from you own from outside the game this turn, so you have to play it the same turn. So whatever you do, you'd have to have 3 extra mana that turn. But it's not hard to do that in a control deck, especially not in Grixis when you're controlling the entire board state for the entire game. You get to the 8 mana point and then just have to cast whatever you need to win the game at that point.
What's the green Hydra do? It's not in English. Right there, right
this
beside
one?
Mish.
Let's see.
Oh, it's an ooze.
This is an ooze, ochre jelly.
Oh, it's just Hydroid Crisis.
Yep, enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. When it dies, it add 2 or more +1/+1 counters. Create a
Oh,
copy
it keeps going.
that at the beginning of the next end step, that token enters the battlefield with half of those +1/+1 counters on it, rounded down.
So if you make it a 6, it becomes a 3. If it's a 3, it becomes a 1. If it's a 1, it becomes a 0.
0 and dies.
I mean, but like, if you pay 10 for it, it becomes a 5, then a 4, then like a 3, then a 1. So like, it keeps going.
It does have a little bit of a stall on it, so it doesn't come back immediately. It comes back at your next end step. So if they kill it on their turn, you'll get it back next turn. But if they kill it on your turn, you won't get it back until they've taken their turn. So it doesn't give you a blocker body or anything like that. But, I mean, it does give you that creature to attack again, which it has trample. So, I mean, you're just going over and over again. Green definitely did not need any more
so
boosts. But
you're going to be playing it for a lot anyway. That's kind of cool.
what else do we have? So Razalax, Illithid Scholar for 3 mana, 2 blue and a colorless. It's a 3/2. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may return it to its owner's hand. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card.
Mono blue tempo.
Yeah.
That's your turn 3. And then, like, you
then my
say-
Brazen Borrowers come back if they get blocked, and then I get to bounce something again. And
You
put
sure
my
do.
Borrower back in. I get to bounce my Ascendant Heroes if they're being threatened. It's actually kind of ridiculous. if you
Yeah,
think
no,
about
it's kind of wild.
it. I do think that will be a target as soon as it hits the field for a removal spell almost every time, chat. Sphere of Annihilation. We were talking about this just before the stream. It is actually kind of broken, but I like it because it makes Prismari Command more useful now. Because Prismari Command does have the ability to break an artifact. But this is basically a board wipe that exiles everything, and it also takes everything out of their graveyard. So it basically just removes a lot of components from the game completely, and there are already a lot of interactions with the graveyard right now.
Yep.
So it is a good deal to take that stuff out as well. I like that it targets Croxa for super cheap, 3
Yes.
mana to get rid of all the Croxas. So basically, at the beginning of your upkeep, okay, when it enters the battlefield, it has X void counters on it, so it's black and X. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile Sphere of Annihilation. All creatures and planeswalkers with mana value less than or equal to the number of void counters on it, and all creatures and planeswalker cards in graveyards with mana value less or than or equal to the number of void counters on it are all exiled.
Whack.
Crazy. Orb of Dragoncon, I think, is kind of interesting. So it's a 2 mana artifact, pay 1 and tap it, add 2 mana of any combination so you can cast a dragon spell. You can only cast dragon spells or activated abilities. But it does have a search or a tutor. It only touches the top 7 cards of your library, but you get to put a dragon from among them in your hand. It enables the wacky combo that we were talking about with Minion of the Mighty. And for the life of me, Terror of Mount Velis. I have to remember that card for when the set comes out so I can ruin people's day on Standard. Vorpal Sword is kind of broken.
It's really cool. It takes a lot of investment.
It does take a lot of investment. It is very interesting. I feel like it's going to get broken most of the time, or your creature is just going to get murdered. But in the odd event that your creature is making it through with an attack, and Vorpal Sword is attached to it, pay 8 mana, 3 black, and 5 colorless. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game.
Yep.
You get to cut your opponent's head off, chat. I don't know what you don't like about that.
Beats me.
Portable Hole is going to be super annoying. So when Portable Hole enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value 2 or less until Portable Hole leaves the battlefield. So a nice little removal spell for super cheap for white.
Yeah, it's basically just Soul Snare if you play Commander.
Yeah. Let's see. I like the
The Grim Wanderer's kind of wild.
yeah, you can only cast him if a creature has died this turn, but he's played it at a black and a colorless, so you know pest control is going to assign
Yeah,
this
is
guy
that the
in.
one? Is that the one that you can cast the guy out of the graveyard? Yeah, they just have a 5/3 on your turn.
Ridiculous. I really like the DM inspired cards, like you find some prisoners or choose a weapon or you happen on a glade. They give you options on what your party or your character would do in that case. So none of them have been super crazy as far as I can see. But they are kind of interesting.
Yeah, I do think that's a way to kind of help balance out the set.
Yeah.
What's the 5-drop 4/4 do right there?
Let's see here. So,
Lady with the Tiger.
Tiger Tribe Hunter. 5 mana, 2 red, and 3 colorless for a human barbarian. Has trample. And if you attacked with a creature 6 or greater this turn, you may sacrifice a creature. If you do, Tiger Tribe Hunter deals damage to target creature equal to the sacrificed creature's power. So it's a fling,
Kind of.
but only for things with 6 or greater damage. You can see that being kind of broken in the big red deck that
Yeah.
Combos Calamity Breaker Titan.
That deck is wild.
And the 3 red, 1 colorless dwarf that gives every
like-
red something plus 4
That
to
deck
its damage
has-
or whatever.
That deck has a turn 1 play with the little kobold now too.
Yeah,
So it's like not even just like mono red got better. It's like that deck now has a turn 1 play now.
there may be a new version of Big Red. And if you don't chew Big Red, chat, then you know what to do. I'd rather pay 2 more for Banishing Light.
It's the best removal.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. But the Portable Hole is just a smaller version of that. I mean, it does. If I have the choice between Banishing Light and that, I'll always take Banishing Light. But you won't always have the choice, chat.
You've got the colored dragon, so black dragon, green dragon. There's choose your weapon there. right below Green Dragon.
Oh yeah. So this one was kind of cool. So it's three mana. You can choose 2 weapon fighting, so double target creature's power and toughness until the end of turn, or archery, and you just deal 5 damage to target creature with fly. Useful, final, a good way for green to kill some dragons.
Little Dwarfold champion dude's a little white right down there.
Ooh, as long as Dwarfold champion is equipped, he gets +2 or +0/+2. And it's a 3/1 for 2. I'm tired of white getting 3/1s.
Yep,
Stop that.
it's not okay.
It needs to stop happening. I don't have answers, okay?
Don't have them.
I shouldn't have to have answers. It's white, okay? Let me get to a board wipe.
Destroy target non-angel, non-demon, non-devil,
Power word kill. I think it'll be interesting to see what comes in the next set that is going to be the opposite of this, because usually they do that with our black kill spells. You know, we'll get the go for the throat, and then what was the one?
Eliminate.
Eliminate, yeah. Or we get it kills these specific creatures, and then this one kills the ones that this one didn't target. So I like to see what they'll come up with that targets just angels, demons, devils, and dragons. But maybe we won't actually get anything like that. Maybe they'll just leave it the way we are.
You've got the purple worm. He's kind of cool. If a creature died, he costs 2 less, and he comes in with Ward 2. But it's 5 mana for an 8/7 that has Ward 2.
Yeah.
It's really good.
The amount of green cards you're getting ward, I don't like. As a control player playing black, it's always nice because it doesn't matter what green does.
Yep.
I'm just going to kill it. But now I have to pay life to do so. I'm kind of upset.
Mono white got another 1-drop 1/1 that has an effect later on. They can pay 3, tap it to venture. You get to tap another creature, but you get to enter into the dungeon or venture into the dungeon. So depending on which, well, you always have access to the dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
You can complete them multiple times over. It didn't say that once you complete one, you can't go into the other. You can just do the same one over and over and over.
So you don't have to sacrifice it after it's completed.
It's gone, but you always have access to it.
Huh. So they're basically emblems because there's no interaction with
Yep.
them other than going.
And each player technically can have them in their sideboard. But there are some of the dungeons that, like, if you can get into the dungeons and get it going, it's kind of really good.
Here's a 1 mana hexproof spell. Also taps target creature. Decent
It's
for
really
blue.
good mono blue. It's a protection spell. It's cheap.
Here's some of our cards that are actually going to incorporate D20s. So Earth Cult Elemental for 6 mana, 2 red and 4 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, roll a D20. 1 through 9, each player sacrifices a permanent. Wonderful.
Yep.
10 through 19, each opponent sacrifices a permanent.
Each opponent.
Great.
Yeah.
Hit a 20, each opponent sacrifices 2 permanents. That's what I want to see out of these roll 20 cards.
It's what I'm really wanting.
I want the 20 drop. If I roll a nat 20, I want it to be super powerful. And that card is decently good.
Very good.
And it's enter the battlefield effect, so it doesn't matter if he gets killed or not. We can still force you for 6 mana if we have it ramped some way to sacrifice 2 permanents. Let's see.
Dawnbreaker Cleric. When he enters the battlefield, you either gain 2 life, destroy target enchantment, or exile a card from a graveyard. It's a 2-drop 1/3.
Nice.
Gains life. It's very good.
Feign Death is just the exact same thing as the other Feign card in Standard right now. I don't know if it costs more though. But until end of turn, target creature, whenever its creature dies, it returns to the battlefield tapped, and it gets a +1/+1 counter on it. This is for 1 mana, so and instant speed. Let's see, more rogues. Here's a 3 mana rogue with Death Touch to 2/2, and when it enters the battlefield, or when it deals damage to a player, you get to venture into a dungeon. Considering
What's the thing?
considering the fact that we have a bunch of rogues that keep making everything not be able to block, I think that rogues is going to be able to get through dungeons pretty quickly. Let's see. Here's another pack tactic. So, whenever it attacks, you control creatures with total power 6 or greater this turn. It gains first strike until the end of the turn. It's a 3/1 for 2.
Good.
A new red equipment.
I love Dueling Rapier. That card is insane.
So for 1 mana, adding it to what's Fervent Champion?
Fervent Champion. When it enters the battlefield, it comes in attached. So you don't even have to pay anything for it. You just flash it in, and it's an equipment.
Fervent Champion gets its plus from its ability, and then it gets +2 from Dueling Rapier. It's taking you for 4.
Yep.
On turn 2. That's not a good thing to happen in red.
I didn't know it at the time, but I had mentioned on here before building the Boros equipment deck instead of the blue-white one. We didn't have any really good equipment spells. This one's really good.
Yeah.
It's very, very good.
Paired with Embercleave, this makes a red deck wins even faster than it needs to be, and it's driving me insane. We keep looking at these red cards. Things are happening so fast.
They get worse. There's another beholder there, the Baleful Beholder.
So it enters the battlefield. It's 6 mana, 2 black, 4 colorless for a 6/5. It has 2 abilities, so you choose one. Anti-magic cone. Each opponent sacrifices an enchantment. And Fear Ray, creatures you control gain menace until the end of turn.
I think you're always going to use Fear Ray.
Yeah.
But, even then. Couple other, spells that, I don't know. The Manticore is kind of cool. There's the Owlbear. But we looked at it earlier. It's got Flash. No, it's got Trample. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Trample, and it just draws a card.
Draws a card for 5 mana. Manticore is strong. I like Devour Intellect.
Yes.
As a cheap way of forcing my opponent to discard cards. I like the additional effect if it's using a treasure token, treasure generated mana to do this. You get to choose the non-land card from their hand to discard.
Now we can move on to some the juicy stuff.
While we go to the truly broken stuff, all hail our new dragon god. Tiamat has entered the set for quite a lot of mana. So for 7 mana, 1 of every color and 2 colorless. When it enters a battlefield, if you cast it, search your library for up to 5 dragon cards not named Tiamat that each have different names. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle.
Goldspan Dragon, Gazaleth. This red-white one here,
Adult Gold Dragon, which is crazy. Flying Lifelink and Haste for a 4/3 for 5 mana.
It's so good.
It's beautiful.
You can just play Boros Dragons now.
Yeah.
You can play the little 1-drop red guy. You're only playing white mana for this, so you just play red basics.
And Lord knows before that turn you dropped a Blade Historian, so it's just going to come in and hit twice.
No. And you also have the Boros Dragon Lord from Strixhaven.
Yeah. That casts a spell that's less than its mana cost every time it attacks.
Also, this guy right here, the red-white dwarf man in equipment, you may pay 0 rather than pay the equip cost of the first equipment ability you activate each turn. You can flash in the big red one,
the Dueling Rapier.
Yeah, you can
or
flash
the Embercleave.
Embercleave.
Yeah.
0 mana to get it on him. 0 mana. But it comes in attached anyway. But on your turn, if you want to move it to somewhere else or move it onto him, 0 mana.
I can see this being broken in Commander, where Lightning Greaves is a thing, where where the swords are all ready to go.
Yeah, no, you can just play Voltron and he's a legendary, so you just play him as your commander anyway. and all of the swords are colorless, and they don't have color identities in their name. They don't have like the colored plips. They just have the colored name, so they're all playable.
Yeah, I want the dwarf for my Knights deck. It has Sigarda's 8 ability. Yeah. It will be super powerful. Let's see. An Elf Ranger with double strikes, 3/3s, 5 mana, a green and a white, and 3 colorless. When Drizzt Do Erden enters the battlefield, create
A 4/1 green cat creature token
With trample.
trample.
Whenever a creature dies, if it had power greater than Drizzt's power, put a +1/+1 counters on it, equal to the difference. So it comes in, it creates the creature. Creature's a 4/1, it swings, it dies, but it has one more tough or power than Drizzt does, so it turns Drizzt into a 4/4.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You have like the red blue girl that's over there.
Let's pull up a translated version here. So whenever you roll a dice, she gets menace and flying until the end of turn. If any of those result in a 10 or higher roll, draw a card.
It's kind of cool. Limited, really good. Especially in draft, it seems really good. And you have like this red green boy over here on the corner, and he's not in English.
Targnar Demon Fang. So it's a null. For a red and a green, it has pack tactics. So whenever attacked creatures with 6 or greater, attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn.
Yeah, he's a 2-drop 2/2 that can do this.
Yeah. And then he also has 2, a red and a green, double the power and toughness. Double his power and toughness until end of turn.
Once you get to enough mana, you could pay 8 mana to make it a. It goes to a 4/4 and then to an 8/8 for 8 mana.
And then when it swings, it gives itself +1, so it hits you for 9. Ridiculous.
Kind of whack. This set's kind of gross. And then like we just have a lot of stuff down at the bottom. There's the 2-drop green white person that's kind of there, just hanging out at the bottom.
Let's see.
Prolosara
Moon Dancer. A green and a white for an elf cleric. It's a legendary creature. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And scry one.
I love when my Johnny's Pride mate scries me one.
What's the name of the black spell? Remove +1/+1 counters or destroy a creature with no +1/+1 counters.
I know exactly what you're talking about. We play it in like every black deck that we play.
Not worthwhile anymore. Everything that is white will have a +1/+1 counter on it from this day forward.
Yeah, so you have to play the other 2 mana removal spell. Or you have to play Eliminate.
Yep.
Those are your options. Unbelievable.
Let's see. Shishara Death Whisperer. When Death Whisperer enters the battlefield, target creature blocks this turn if able. Whispers at the grave.
Wild
at
stuff.
the beginning of your end step. If a creature died this turn, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. Well, we know creatures are dying in black-green. So.
Heartless Act.
Heartless Act. That's what we're looking for. Barrowin of Clan Undur is a dwarf cleric. Is also legendary for 4 mana, a white, black, and 2 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, venture into a dungeon. It's nice. Whenever it attacks, return up to 1 creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield if you completed a dungeon. It's Luris. Only you're not casting them, you're just bringing them straight back.
You love Loris.
Triumphant Adventurer, white and a black. It has Death Touch. It's a 1/1. As long as it's your turn, Triumphant Adventurer has first strike. Nice. Whenever Triumphant Adventurer attacks, venture into the dungeon.
Yep. And we've got a few more things here at the bottom before we start getting into the lands. This is more of like the artifacts and stuff.
So here's our treasure chest. Another D20 card. So you have to pay for it and sacrifice it, and then roll a D20. It costs 3 to place it onto the battlefield. You can do this all in 1 turn for 7 mana. So if you roll a 1, you critical miss, you get trapped, you lose 3 life. You roll 2 through 9, create 5 treasure tokens.
That is wild.
Um, 10 through 19, you gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. 20, search your library for a card. If it's an artifact card, you may put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put that card into your hand and then shuffle. That's what we were looking for out of those roll 20 cards.
Yep.
Definitely has a really good result in a tutor. That either goes to your hand, or if it's an artifact, you put it right on the battlefield. I can see somebody in a commander game against me in the future putting a Blightsteel Colossus down super early and me getting upset.
Yep.
Just searching it out of their 100 card deck, and now I have to deal with that
And
thing.
then we've got the Mimic on the other side, but it's not English.
Oh yeah. Let's click on it and go to the actual English version. So it's a 2 mana for a Mimic. It's an artifact. It's technically a treasure. Sacrifice Mimic. Add 1 color mana of any color. 2 Mimic becomes a shapeshifter artifact creature token with base power and toughness 3/3 until end of turn.
It's just a 2 mana 3/3.
This is what Hampton will be running. Hampton's been talking about wanting to make a straight Mimic deck, so I want to see what he ends up coming up with here. It could be useful in the way that Crawling Barrens is useful because it only happens on their turn over and over again, and it's not a creature by the time it comes back to you, so you can't do anything.
If you're not tapping out on your turn, it just goes to your opponent's turn, and you've just got 2 mana, so you always have a 3/3. And then like the body's kind of awkward. A 3/3 kind of just checks a lot of stuff. Checks all the rogues, if they're not unblockable or flying. Does check them super early.
I like Spiked Pit Trap,
Cool.
kind of cool. 1 mana for a flash artifact, so you come in on your opponent's turn. Then pay 5 and tap it and sacrifice it to activate it. So you choose a target creature once it's activated, and then you roll a d20. If it's a 1 through 9, it deals 5 damage to that creature. If it's a 10 through 20, it deals 5 damage to that creature, and you create a treasure token.
Yep. Kind of wild. Then we're going on down to the lands. If there's not really, so like 50 feet of rope's kind of cool. Hammer Pashar is like, hey, I'm playing dungeon travel.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get into my dungeons and just get out.
My dungeons will win me the game.
Room ability of dungeons you own trigger an additional time. Some of them are actually really cool, and we've only got 3. They're down at the bottom, but yeah, you've got Dungeon of the Mad Mage. When you first get into it, you gain 1 life. In the second level, you can either scry 1, then you can either go to one that creates a treasure token, or one that says 1 can't attack until your next turn. Then you scry 2. You can either exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them.
Or you can get 2 1/1 black skeleton creature
You can
tokens.
scry 3, then draw 3 cards and reveal them. You may cast one of them without paying its mana cost.
All of those abilities are great. Have them trigger a second time with that creature, and they start to become a little broken.
Yep.
Scrying 2 early on in the dungeon, it makes it super powerful, but scrying 4 or 6 later on is absolutely ridiculous. Especially when you're about to draw 6 cards and can pay them without paying their mana cost. Tomb of the Annihilator is cool, so each opponent or each player loses 1 life. You can choose to go directly to Oubliette, which is discard a card and sacrifice an artifact, a creature, and a land. Or you can go through 2 rooms here. It would be each player loses 2 life unless they discard a card, and each player loses 2 life unless they sacrifice an artifact, a creature, or a land.
And then at the end, you just make a 4/4 with Death Touch.
Death Touch, God, Horror, creature token. Dope.
Songs.
The Lost Mine of
Pandelver.
It's all right. I mean, it doesn't do anything broken for you. I can definitely see it being useful in if red has a lot more ways to venture through the dungeon quickly, I can see that being decent in a red deck win stack. Creating one little goblins, treasure tokens, putting +1/+1 counters on it, or pinging for 1, or saving you from 4 damage from a creature.
It's wild. And then, like, all your basics have flavor text on them now. It's the first that basic lands have had flavor text on them.
And it does feel like a lot of the other cards in the set are lacking in flavor text because
True.
their
So,
abilities are so dang long.
What do the non-basics do? So I know we've got one in each color and then a colorless one.
Okay. So let's start with the blue one. Hall of the Storm Giants. So if you control 2 or more other lands, Hall of the Storm Giants enters the battlefield tapped. So it's an early land. You tap it for 1 blue, 5 colorless and 1 blue until end of turn. Hall of Storm Giants becomes a 7/7 blue giant creature with ward. It's still a land.
In the limited format, it's busted. The land's so good.
Den of the Bugbear becomes a 3/2 goblin creature with whenever a creature attacks, it creates a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking and it's still a land. That's for 4
That's
mana.
kind of wild.
And then the Cave of the Frost Dragon, 5 mana, 4 white. It becomes a 3/4 white dragon with flying until end of turn, and it's still a land. So it's annoying because if you have anything that says destroy target non-land permanent, it doesn't work on any of them.
Nope, they're still lands.
Those are all still lands. So Brazen Borrower is not bouncing anything here.
Nope.
They're all good.
Yep.
The blue one is ridiculous, honestly. A 7/7 creature on a land, even if it does cost 6. It's at the point in that counter battle with your opponent where you've spent all of your counters, all of your kill spells. We've gotten to the point where we're both low in our hand. Whoever gets card advantage would win in most cases, except for the fact that I have a 7/7 land on the field that's been here since turn 2, and you just forgot about it. You know, it just gets ridiculous. Hive of the Eye Tyrant. This has to be about Beholders. Great. If you control 2 or more other lands, Hive of the Eye Tyrant enters the battlefield tapped. It adds a black mana, and then it becomes a 3/3 black Beholder creature with menace. With whenever this creature attacks, exile target card from a defending player's graveyard, and it's still a land. And it transforms for 4.
It's wild. Then you have like Dungeon Descent, which is just the dungeon land for the set. There's usually like 1 land or like a cycle of lands that all do the thing to mess with the set. This one is just like pay for, tap it, untap legendary creature you control to venture into a dungeon. I just don't think that one really does anything.
No.
You'd have to be playing like specifically dungeons. But like if you tap the blue white girl and you go into a dungeon, you just get to make it trigger twice.
And she is a legendary creature,
Yep.
so
She is taggable by that. And then like Evolving Wilds is back. It's been a while since we've seen Evolving Wilds, and since we're getting Evolving Wilds, that kind of foretells to me that they probably won't be putting Fabled Passage in anymore, and just letting once it's gone, and we go back to Evolving Wilds.
back to the tapped
I
player.
think they learned their lesson with Fabled Passage.
It's fairly broken, and it also makes me mad because of rogues, because of the Ruin Crab. The fact that they get to cast that on turn, or they get to play that land on turn 4, and then they have 2 counter spells activated, is ridiculous to me.
Yep.
Especially with how much work that they're doing with milling. But chat, you know me. You're always going to hear me complain about rogues until
Always.
they finally get this deck format out of standard. It hopefully will stop being so powerful in historic as well.
Nothing rotates until the end of the year.
But nothing rotates till the end of the year, and they've added so much more gas to the
And
deck.
it's not even the rogue stuff. It's just like the Throne of Eldraine stuff. Like Kaldheim's still here. Zendikar would still be there.
But let us know, chat, in the Discord, ! Discord in the chat. let us know if there are any cards that you want to see us go over or look at, since we didn't actually go over every single thing on the list today. We just went over what we thought is going to be absolutely ridiculous coming out of the set. Let us know if any of the combos that we said are actually not going to work, or if you think that they're going to be trash.
Yeah.
When the set launches, we will
The
start
23rd.
the 23rd. We will start up Troll versus Toad that week. So we will all start building our decks with this set as our core set. I think we still have to decide on the other 3 sets.
We still do, and I need to go back to the VOD and get my notes to because me and 2 or 3 other minds got together, and we did decide that we're not going to play with some sets just because either access to them is very, very limited. So like
Right.
no alpha and beta, of course. But then also at the same time, we're not playing with anything before 2008 just because like it was just Magic was way different, and like the power scale for those is just kind of like just not on par. They're not, and like they're either very soft sets to where like they don't offer much. You would like there's no like land cycles that are any good or anything like that. Bronze Panda says, I saw the Gruul Commander deck for D&D. It's insane. You guys should check it out. I'll put it in Discord.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Yeah, I agree with keeping out some of the sets before 2008. Keeping out the expensive sets that we're just not going to be able to get the cards from.
Yeah.
Because there's no point in us running a bunch of proxies unless we absolutely have to. But I'm also worried because Drew said earlier today that he thought that New Phyrexia would be a great set for us to play with. There are some sets out there, chat, that I can think of that have cards in them that are completely broken,
Oh,
and I would like for us to try and stay away from them if we can.
we were playing with no Kaladesh, no modern design sets, so no Modern Masters, no
Right.
Modern Horizons, just because the power scope for that is wild and it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So like you don't want to be able to have one set in which you can get Jace, Liliana, Snapcaster Mage, Immercruel, which was like the last not Modern Horizons, but it was like Ultimate Masters. Because like you got Immercruel, the Promised End, you had all that stuff. But I'm actually looking at the blocks right now myself. But it was like no Kaladesh, no Commander sets, because if you do choose Commander, you just get the Commander that had the 3-1 in it that has protection from player. It can't be blocked by them. They can't target it with anything. It's just protection from player.
Speaking of Commander, do you think Garth One Eye technically breaks Wizard's promise about not reprinting broken cards?
We were talking about that earlier today, and it was a way around the whole reserve list. Wizard said they would never print exact copies of those cards again, so they are playing within their own words. I just do kind of think that it is a smack in the face, them saying, hey, we want to print them, but we can't because you're holding us to it. And it just kind of makes me feel bad for everyone involved. Plus, like, some of them aren't good, but like, we are not going to be playing with Ice Age, Mirage, Urza's original block, the mask block. We won't be playing with Time Spiral.
Okay, good.
So we're going to be playing with everything from, it's going to be from Lorwyn of Autumn 2007 forward. So you're going to get Lorwyn, Shadowmoor, Shards of Alara, that block's in there. Scars of Mirrodin's in there. So that's Scars, Mirrodin Besieged, and New Phyrexia. But we only get one set per block.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're going to be able to vote for all 3. But like you also do get Innistrad. And I Snapcaster Mage with Zanara.
I doubt we will have the inventory. Let's see what the inventory is like on Snapcasters right now. I'm still kicking myself years later, chat, for getting rid of these cards. Because I had the promo ones. But yeah. 2 in copy, 4 in copy from someone else. Some box toppers. Yeah.
Very, very hot commodity.
Yes. Insane card. Insane
Very good.
broken card. Was one of my first experience with Wizards printing something that had everybody in every format go, what? What are you doing? Not that it completely broke the format, but like if you were playing blue, there's no way you weren't playing a Snapcaster main. What's the name of that ability? Unearth?
Flashback.
Flashback. Innistrad flashback set. Flashback was such a great ability. Let's see.
So since we already have a core set, does that knock out all the core sets? So like M10 and M11.
I would think that would probably be the best way to do it, so our card pool isn't too overwhelming.
Do you keep in Magic Origins since it replaced the core set, but it's its own set in its own entirety? Because they've done that like twice. That's what. So like War of the Spark is detached from Guilds of Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance, but they're seen as in the same block. It's its own standalone set. It's wild how they structured some of the
Why?
Because if you get Magic Origins, you get Jace. You get Flip Jace. You get Flip Jace.
I
You
don't
can
know.
play rogues in this format.
We'll have to stop. We'll have to do some talks in the Discord and internally, and just run a poll. Honestly, for all the players who want to play, I think me and you are probably the most excited about
I'm
the Magic TBT.
Ecstatic.
A lot of the other people out there are saying that they don't know how to play, but
Well, just get them on mono red decks.
get them on some aggressive decks. Aggro decks will always pump through. You don't have to know how to play. You just don't have to know how to lay a land down.
If we don't
And
get a
tap it.
set with Turn to Frog in it, we need to let JT just play Turn to Frog so it'll
Yeah.
be okay.
Turn to Frog or Frogify. Look, I just want to go to Innistrad. Innistrad was a great set.
Yeah, that
Um,
Liliana the Veil's there for Black, Blue, and Xanarath.
what was the white 2-drop who got a Dante Vanguard? Is that you could discard a card or
Thalia? It's not Thalia, is it?
no? You could
Adonto's Vanguard?
Adonto's Vanguard, right?
Adonto's Vanguard came from Ixalan. That little bugger was insane in Standard. Made my life miserable.
What was the card in Innistrad that was kind of like there was a it was a white vampire that got +2 something when it attacked, and then it had a protection ability.
Innistrad brings back like Vapor Snag. You
There's
can
so
play
much stuff.
taxes because of Thalia. Oh my goodness. Champion of the Parish. You all don't know about Champion of the Parish. Doom Traveler's really good.
Elite Inquisitor was good during that time. I can't remember.
Mentor of the Meek.
Mentor of the Meek was insane.
Oh, Nevermore. It's just an answer to everything. The permanent can't be cast.
Chat can't see any of this. We're looking at it ourselves here. Let's go back to Arena. Okay. Oh, we will figure it out, chat. We'll figure out what sets we'll end up going to. I like the idea of going to Innistrad. I hated the idea from Drew earlier of going to New Phyrexia because that's where stuff gets real crazy.
I do think originally me and Hampton talked about it, and we were going to cut the Scars block because that's where the artifact lands are, and that's just too much. Because like if we get that, then like there's no reason to play anything from the new set other than like Mimic, because like you can make him free, and everything's got affinity for artifacts.
Yeah, we probably should stay away from the stars. And maybe all Mirrodin in general. The other Mirrodin block was before 2008.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
Yeah, so it's like no Kaladesh, no modern sets, no commander sets, no Kaladesh.
Chat, I did want to let you guys know that we will be ending a little bit early tonight. We're going to end at 7:30 instead of 8 o'clock. There was an issue the last time we were here after hours where a fire alarm got pulled. It ended up being just some technical difficulties or mechanical failure there, but because of that, we're trying to not be in the building when no one else is as much as possible. So just keep that in mind. Our late night streams, most of them will probably start ending at 7:30 or around that time, just to make sure that we're out of here before it gets too dark. Let's see. Transparency. We're being as transparent as possible. So we're gonna look over some of our decks. I think last week Logan took you guys through his version of Tamir Control.
Yep.
Which is definitely more in line with what we ran into when we played against it. Don't lie, it was JT being a goof. I don't know. I mean, it could have been Randall.
Who knows?
So this version of the deck is heavy on counter spells. It still has the ramp that you would need and gets things back from the graveyard into the library, which is definitely nice with Quandrix Command. Part of the goal here is running Kazmina with a Rowan at the same time, so you can pop Rowan quickly, because that allows her to pop on turn 2. And then you can double up any of your instant or sorcery spells. I like this version of the deck, and I like this combo, but I can't for the life of me find enough spells that I would need to double. That would be powerful. I feel like, now, not specifically this version of the deck, because this version of the deck, so far when I played, it does become easier for me to just control out the match. But when I get to the end, I feel like that's where I run into the issue, because they've removed most of the stuff that would be powerful, and I have all of this mana, but I don't have really anything to cast.
So I've been thinking about it, and I think we got caught off guard, and the deck we were building or that we were playing at the time this just straight up countered it.
Yeah.
I personally, after playing it as much as we have, don't like Kazmina and I don't like Rowan.
Yeah.
And I think if you're gonna play this deck, remove them and you have 5 other slots to work with.
I believe so. In my deck, we are still running Kazmina and Rowan, but we're running them at very low copies. And the argument that I had with myself was, why am I running Kazmina if I never use her ability to make a creature? I never get to pop her ability. They will not allow. Your opponent will not allow.
No.
So our ultimate ability is just off the table, and it takes too long to get to. And she's just worse than the other Scry artifact, which was
Maze Mind
Tome.
Yep.
It costs less. It scries without paying anything other than tapping, and it can draw cards, and it gets you +4 life. So I do think that I will drop Kazmina out of that deck and throw the Maze Mind Tones in.
Yep. And from where you're playing the ultimatum, you're not losing any targets off of it. Mm-hmm. You're just getting 2 more that are more mana efficient and have other uses. Now, I do think what I would like to experiment with next is we have played Grixis, we've played Blue-White, we've played Teamer, we've done every red-blue X color combination except for one.
Time to go to
Jeskai. And luckily, we have a 4-mana Planeswalker who's busted out the wazoo. She ramps. Chat, she ramps. Narset ramps. Not only that, but like she's just inherently powerful. Her -2 is kind of insane. Her +1 insulates you a little bit from aggro decks. You only get to spend mana to cast instant or sorceries, but you don't care. You're a control deck. You don't care.
I do feel like a Jeskai version of this control deck would be a lot more powerful because we actually get access into the exile target permanent cards with white.
You can afford to cast Prismari Command on your turn this way because she'll count for 1 mana, and then if you make the treasure, that counts for 1 other mana. So you've basically paid 1 mana to either shoot something for 2 or draw 2 and discard 2.
Destroy an artifact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that her, along with Prismari Command, would be super powerful.
I think she, like, we are, like, if you do play Narset, you're like a spell slinging deck. So you're wanting to just spend all your mana casting all these spells on your turn. I don't think you're really playing like a control build. If you're playing Narset, I just think that you're playing a oops all spells kind of deck.
Yeah.
So you're playing like board wipes just because you're gonna need them. You want to insulate yourself, but you're playing like you're just playing really good spells. You're playing like spells that run you through your deck, or just playing inherently powerful things like Allrun's Epiphany. You're playing like Shark Typhoon to play all these instant sorceries because you're gonna get sharks. Like that's how you end the game. Is playing her and just ending the game that way. Is Shark Typhoon.
Okay.
Allrun's Epiphany because like she works well. She makes your stuff cost less. Anything that just says like do X thing. So like Prismari Command's really good. I don't think you play like the Lorehold command, but you're basically just going to be red, blue, splashing white for Narset. Is essentially where you're at.
We will need to run some removal or board wipes, so probably Doomscar.
Yep.
Be a decent answer for that.
You could play like Thrill of Possibility. What's the one thing that it's a 2-mana red spell? It's like do something, put cards in your hand, and then shoot something for 2.
2-mana red spell. Probably an
It's
instant
fire of
sorcerer.
something. Oh yeah, Fire Prophecy.
Oh, yes, yes.
You're playing Opt. You're playing like Anticipate. Is Opt not in? Oh, you've got red and 2 selected.
Actually, let's get the pretty ones. What am I doing?
You just have to deselect the ones you already put in there. Yeah. And you're just playing oops all spells.
I like the idea of running opt. Let's see. Do we have ways of cheating anything onto the board in blue, white, red? Is there an ultimatum that works with us?
You unfortunately did not get the ultimatum for that color scheme. They done everyone except a Jeskai one, an Esper one. Oh wait, no, yeah, they did. Okay.
Inspired ultimatum. The target player gains 5 life, deals 5 damage to any target, and you draw 5 cards.
Oh, okay, yeah, that stomps. That's really good. I totally forgot they done the Jeskai cycle too. Okay. Wild.
What else do we have? I like Elite Spellbinder.
I like Goldspan Dragon's probably something you want to play in here
Yeah,
since you're
absolutely.
playing spells. And you want to have like and you can play Galazeth too. Just ways to make treasure and do things. You have instant still selected.
My word.
Oh, and lands.
Throw 4 of our Goldspan Dragons in there, and we have Galazeth. We run.
Bone Crusher Giant because it's a spell. Brazen Borrower, it's a spell. Because what's Narset's ultimate say?
You get an emblem with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this emblem deals 2 damage to any target.
So like you're just trying to like spell them to death.
Yeah.
So your ops become shocks, scribe one, draw one. Your fire prophecies, your Bone Crusher Giant, like the stomp becomes deal 4.
I think we could also get away with running. It's blue red.
Oh, is it the one thing that like lets you look at 3, put 1 in your hand,
Yeah.
1 on the bottom? Yes.
What was that called? My word, please.
It's all the way at the end.
Expressive iteration. That's what I was talking about. Decent draw spell, super cheap. We're fucking we're going crazy over the amount of cards here. Experimental Overload was another card that I thought would go decent into this because we're slinging so many spells. So it does create an XX blue ward creature equal to the instant sorcery cards in our graveyard. Only 4 mana, but I don't know how powerful it would actually be for us. There was something else that I saw the other day that does X damage to target creature based off of how many instants and sorceries you have in your graveyard. I think it was red and a colorless.
Is it in one of the decks already?
I don't know if we were actually using it in our deck already. I remember I was playing and it was cast against me. You can always make a Tybalt's Trickery deck. I do have 2 copies.
Yeah. It's really good.
Huh. Not sure. Chat's
Wow,
probably
man.
yelling at me.
You'll have all kinds of different things that you're able to, like, you're just slinging spells. That's all you're doing. I think that's where Narset puts you. But if you play something else, you can play like just Jeskai control. So there's always 2 ways to build any red blue X deck. You either play like the control variant, or you play into what the third color is doing. So if you play Teamer, you're playing into the permanents. If you play black, you're playing into like the removal spells and the 1-for-1 spells. And if you're playing into white, you're playing into either the creatures or you're just playing into like the control build.
Let's see. So in our draw spells, we have some interrupts, we have some damage, draw spells as well, and ways to make treasure tokens. Narset also is boosting us each turn. Doomscar is a very cheap destruction for the land or field wipe.
Yep.
Ghostbane Dragon is definitely a good 4-drop or 5-drop for us rather. I think we probably come down to 2 copies of Shark Typhoon.
Yeah, I don't think it's one that you run a full 4 of. Same with Alrund's Epiphany. I think that just goes back down to 2. I do think you need Goldspan Dragon at 4. I feel like Doomscar is fine at 2. Narset, you could probably just get away with only playing 3. I don't know if you need to play the full 4. Galazeth, that one's kind of iffy.
If it's needed at all.
Yeah. That's one of the ones that can just be like, it just depends. Prismari Command, I think you play 4.
Yes.
Brazen Borrower, you play 4. Bone Crusher could be a sideboard card, or 2 main, 2 side.
Probably 2 main, 2 side would be easiest there.
Fire Prophecy could just be cut, but I do like it. Because it cycles a card, it deals damage. Opt, I think is fine, but it could be like Anticipate or more copies of Expressive Iteration. The thing does have us playing 25 lands. I think you can get away with playing 24.
Actually, it's 20.
Oh, okay.
24.
Then my math was wrong. 8 plus 7 it's 15, not 16. And then plus 9. Okay, my math was wrong. I was off by 1.
I do like Fire Prophecy because it doesn't allow us to filter a card from our hand. Yep. I wish it dealt more damage though.
Same.
That's the problem that I think we're going to get into, where if we run up against a deck that starts dropping larger creatures, we don't have an answer. We just have to Doomscar them or counter them away.
Either that, or you can play the other board wipe, Shatter the Sky.
I have red selected, so that's not going to work. Also, I have 2 mana cost selected. The 4 mana, each player who controls a creature with 4 or greater draws a card, then destroy all creatures. I don't know. I feel like if we have Doomscar, we don't necessarily need it. What are we going to be playing besides Goldspan Dragons that'll be above 4?
So like it's not even if you control anything, it's just a board wipe.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so it just says that if there is something, because they can't print Wrath of God because it's too strong, they have to give it a downside of like sometimes it's going to draw your opponent a card. We don't care if they draw cards. We're doing our own thing on our turn. We're not worried about them. So you don't have to play counter spells in the main, but you can play them in the side. That's where I think like you side into your counter package is out of the sideboard.
So with the deck currently, you think that we would basically burn whatever we can, bounce what we can't?
Yep. And then like if something else happens to stick, you're just gonna board wipe it, and you're going to land a Shark Typhoon, and your ops, your Fire of Prophecy, your Expressive Iteration, your borrowers, your Crusher Giants, your commands, and then like you're just trying to tick up Elspeth to get to the ultimatum or get to the ultimate. Oh, we don't even have the ultimate. No, yes, we do have the ultimatum in here. Yeah, no, like you're trying to win the game with ultimatum, shooting somebody for 5. You also draw 5 cards.
So we are over 3 cards here. I think we'll probably drop a copy of Ops since we have 2 expressive iterations in the deck. We need the 4 Prismari commands.
We may not even need Galazeth.
Yeah, I don't think we do.
I think Goldspan Dragon's just enough. But like right there, we may even be able to cut an Inspired Ultimatum and only play 3, just because if it does get clunked up in our hand, we're really not gonna want it.
Yeah. What we want to replace it with,
I would just say go back up either Fire of Prophecy or Opt.
Fire Prophecy, just so we have another 3
We
damage.
have to be able to kill stuff because if something gets under us, we're dead either way. And then it's just like fixing the mana base from here.
Yeah, so now we need blue, white, red lands. We could get rid of the fire prophecies for frostbites and run snow
And run
permanents.
snow lanes, yep. You
That-
won't get to cycle a card that way, but like it is also just 1 mana instead of, whatever. Plus, you get the blue. So you're gonna play like Temple of Enlightenment, Temple of Epiphany, just the scry cards because you are a little bit slower. But the 1 blue land that allows you to like draw all those cards or whatever. It's just a really good like late game.
What is that card called?
I have no clue.
Blue. It's like
I know it's back in the mono blue land. So if you go back just a little bit more, so right back in blue, which is I think it goes. I think it goes Bluebird.
Yeah, here we go. Castle of Mantris, is that what we're talking about? No, it's the scry card.
It's one of the Zendikar ones that's flipped.
Seagate Restoration is what we're talking
You can
about.
play 1. I do
And
think
place
that
of an
gets
island.
cut a lot.
Jawari Disruption, we could play those as well. I don't really see them being very useful, but Castle Embereth will not be very useful to us.
Then it's just you're just playing like temples. I know we've got the red blue temple on
Yeah,
that.
Temple of Enlightenment.
We are also heavier red blue than we are blue white, so you don't have to worry about like you just be playing like the red blue snarls like the next best land outside of Temple of Epiphany. Because we're not really worried about white. Fabled Passage.
Fabled Patches for sure. You have 4 copies. All the temples. So we have Temple of Enlightenment, Temple of Epiphany, and then we should have a white red one.
Temple
of Triumph. Let's see. And then we can run our snarls. Just gonna be snarl, not snarls. So frost spoil.
And then you can get away with playing just the one red white one. I would go down to 3 planes. I think 3 is the good color. Is the good number. Because how many lands does that have us at now?
A lot, 30.
30. So
Yeah.
you can just start trimming your basics. It's got you at 24.
Did we
Honestly-
decide to go down to 23? Oh, because we have Seagate
Yeah, I think-
Restoration. That's what it is.
Then just cut Seagate Restoration because that card is bad. That card is terrible. It makes me cry every time. Every time. Because I see that card and it's just not doing anything in our hand. It just never does.
Every time that we've drawn it to use it in that Soul Tide deck, it is at the point where it's the only card in our hand.
Yep.
And it has no use. Other than
No
being
use.
played as a land.
And like you're just drawing one card and you have maximum hand size for the rest of the game. But that doesn't matter at that point. Because if you haven't got the Resolve Ultimatum, you're not winning the game.
Yeah.
Sultai Ultimatum doesn't win unless they cast Ultimatum. And that's wild. I've noticed that like they have all these haymakers in their deck, but if they don't get to cast Ultimatum, that's it. They don't get to do anything else.
So we have the mythics that we need, but we are missing 5 rares.
So the way around that is the just grinding for gold, grinding for wild cards, making sure we see wider red spells.
So yeah, we have 4 challenges that we can go through, or we would be going through in the next 4 minutes. So let's say the next goal that we have is to go ahead and build our Jeskai deck. I think it'll be kind of fresh, you know, to see a Jeskai deck that hits the field that's not cycling.
Yep.
I'm so sick of cycling.
It's like that's the only other way like that you can build Jeskai is if you're doing that. But even then, that's not doing the things that Jeskai wants. You're playing those colors. You're basically playing Boros because like the finishers red white. You're just playing blue because that's where the other cycling cards are. It could just be like Grixis cycling.
Yeah.
But like the white, the little white foxes, you know, it would be Mardu cycling. So like we could play a version of that just plays a bunch of other removal spells.
I just hate that deck so much. I really don't want to add
Mardu
any more to the
cycling sounds
fire.
kind of cool.
It does answer the question for removal spells, but I feel like that deck just doesn't really need it.
It just really helps in the rogue matchup. Is
Yeah.
what it really does. Weather the storm.
So we got what, 1 rare wild card out
We've
of
got
those?
one rare wild card. But the more packs that you open with the more coins that you get.
So yeah, let's focus on that then. So Friday, you can just go ahead and do a draft. If you want to do a draft, or you talk about what you need to talk about on your show. But Wednesday of next week, we will work on, because we were working on a YouTube video anyway, chat, about what the best way is to earn gold and build decks in Arena. So we'll go through the entire topic of completing out our daily quests, hoarding as much gold as we can, and then taking that gold into a draft, and just making as much money in cards as we possibly can to have our deck built as quickly as we can. We are quite a bit of the way along with building that deck already, which is very lucky for us. But I like what we've been doing. We focus on colors that we like. We change one color in the deck, and then we'll buy the cards that we need for that. We'll change one color in the deck again, buy the cards we need for that.
And I like how a lot of stuff is rotated over between the decks, which has really made it a lot easier. But yeah, we went from Grixis to Teamer, to red-white to red-blue. We haven't done red-green yet. We haven't played a lot of super aggro decks.
No.
Notice that.
Which we could probably build fairly easily the red deck wins deck. We have some decks that are down here that are uncompleted, just so I can look back at the deck list and be angry. You know, them are rogues here. Another version with Luris. Snow Dredge deck that I thought was sick,
Snow Dredge.
but never actually built.
That actually looks kind of cool. Not gonna lie. Narfi's insane. Narfi's kind of
You're not wrong.
Narfi's kind of broken.
For a while, I was running a deck that was a version of the mono blue tempo that cycled in black for removal.
I think that was one of the first ones, like when we first started doing this. That's what we were playing.
And
we
it-
played it against Jace.
Yeah, that's true. And it ran Narfi just because it was an infinite creature.
Yeah. No, he's never gone.
It always comes back, especially when you have all that snow mana. It was super cool too because even though I'm spending all of my mana to tempo you out and slow you down, spending all the cards in my hand, Graven Lure is such a broken card with snow mana that I just got everything back and got to scry through 5 cards. of my deck.
Build Mardu Cycling Panda. That sounds really cool. The more I think about Mardu Cycling in my head, the more I like it. Just because, like, if we do get into a point to where there's going to be a lot more creatures, you're definitely going to want the removal spells. And there are cards that are black that cycle, so like it doesn't even matter.
There are a bunch of cards that are black that are cycles.
I mean, you don't get like Shark Typhoon, which is sad, but like they don't win with Shark Typhoon. I mean, they can if they want, but like they don't. They just solar flare you to death.
I want to do an enchant deck. I think you just want to use the Pegasus. All of your
Archon of
unicorns,
Sun's Grace.
a million Pegasi.
Pegasi. It's like, see, like that's the English language is weird because it's like the plural of foxes is the plural of fox is foxes, but the plural of ox is oxen. Why is it not foxen? Why is it not oxes?
Let's give away some packs, chat. So we're gonna roll the giveaway for both packs.
Both packs.
The keyword is just gonna be MH2 for Modern Horizons 2. So go ahead and start spamming away, chat.
We just had a lot to talk about.
We did. I'm really excited for the Forgotten Realms stuff.
I'm beyond excited.
I'm not super excited for Rogues to become any stronger than it has been, but
Nope.
I will be happy to see some other decks possibly take the limelight here.
Yep.
The Sacrifice Pest Control deck, it's a top tier deck.
Yep.
It's not tier 1,
That's really good.
but it is really
nonetheless.
good, and I think that some of the cards that are in this set are going to help it turn into a tier 1 deck.
I don't
Rule
think
looks
you'll.
insane. Red looks wild. I think the mono red deck that comes out of this set will be probably
That's
one of
what
the
I want to
fastest-
play.
The fastest mono red decks that you'll ever see.
It kills on turn 2 if you're. And the thing is like I was thinking about it like in my head, but I was like, you're never gonna do it because you have like if it's not in your opening hand, you can't do it. I forgot in Magic you have the mulligan.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh all day, and I was like, you can't do it.
It requires 4 cards,
4 cards,
including 2 lands.
and including 2 lands. So like you can mulligan to 6 and still have everything that you need. You can mulligan to 5 and just miss 1 land and have the land off the top.
And it's not that I mean it's powerful because you can do it on turn 2, but you can also do it on turn 3 and on turn 4 and on turn 5 going forward. And it's so fast that your opponent, their only choice is to block one of the creatures, and even then they're going to be at half HP.
Yeah.
Um,
And even to block it, if you're going on turn 2, they have had to have had they must have put 2 creatures on the board on turn 1, which unless there's a 0 cost monster that sticks around, it's like there's not one, I don't think, in standard. It's 0 cost, and then like you could make like Stonecoil Serpent for 1, but like there's no way I think to put 2 creatures on board.
I think there will be some blockers that'll come down, but I still think that the red deck will be super fast.
Yep.
I think they will have to do something about that specific battle effect. They may ban the dragon.
And if it's not that dragon, then it's another dragon. There are plenty of dragons in standard that are super big. I try to pay attention, but I know 0 about Magic, so I can't help with deck building.
Hey,
You're fine,
that's
Randall.
fine.
Just being here.
like Chris says, every day we teach them something new about Magic. So if you're wanting to learn Magic, it's a great stream to check out. But it helps you with knowing how much we hate the standard
Yes.
meta right now, and how the game has been evolving so far.
It has been very terrible for a while now.
I don't think that now is a good time for a Magic player to jump into standard.
I don't think so.
A while ago, when Arena first came out, I told all my friends that's the best way that you can learn Magic. But honestly, the state of play on Arena right now is so toxic, with everything being meta decks. Play Commander.
Play Commander.
Play Commander. That's
Draft. Play more casual-oriented formats. If you get into the latter, it's not going to feel good. You're going to feel like it's a job. You're having to work to be able to play, and that's not how it should be. It's not. You shouldn't have to work to be able to play.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta will change July 1st. It's going to be great. See, that's why I'm so upset.
Oh,
about
it's already
Forgotten
changed.
Realms, because this is our core set, and if anything was going to change the meta for the rest of the year,
It's going to be this set.
it was going to be this set, and they did not decide to change the meta. They swung into the fences on the meta decks that are already out there.
And it's even when the stuff rotates out, you're losing Throne of Eldraine and Theros Beyond Death. Pretty sure those two. And if they choose to not call timeout, that's cool too. But you still have rogues, because most of them were from Zendikar.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them are from this set and the core set. It just doesn't feel like.
We got another year of rogues, chat. We got at least another 6 months of it. So
Yeah.
we'll see where we end up. You may see a lot more Commander and other expansive formats on these streams. We did set up a spell table account recently for the company, so we're actually going to start doing some Commander games that you guys can challenge us on spell table. If you aren't familiar with that website, head over to spelltable.com. Basically, it's just a website that connects Magic the Gathering players that are using their webcams to look at their physical cards, so that you can actually play with physical cards with people online. There aren't very many options to do that unless you're friends in Discord, so it really is a nice platform to work with. But yeah, that's 737. Let's go ahead and roll the giveaway here. And it looks like Safid 666 won both packs of Modern Horizons 2. Do you want us to open these live for you on stream, or do you want us to send them to you sealed? And I hope that's the right. 2 packs.
There's a lot of value in this set. Lots of value. We saw somebody open a foil fetch land last week. That was pretty wild. Panda done a live trade. That's kind of wild too. Yeah, I think like Panda got like braids or open braids, and somebody wanted it, or he traded for braids.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it definitely was braids. Another thing, chat, things like that can start happening a lot more often on these streams, because we are going to be switching up our content a little bit. So we fought to be able to keep doing content the way that we've been doing it for you guys, so we can keep growing our community. But we are going to be supplementing in some content that's going to be box breaks or pack breaks along with our streams. So we kind of had a preview of it today with Watson.
Yep.
Watson bought 10 packs of Battle Styles, and Drew opened those 10 packs live on stream. We're going to start having more packs in the studio directly for us, so you guys can buy packs directly from us on stream. We'll bust those packs for you. You get a little sneak peek of what's coming to you. We'll seal everything up, put it in top loaders, put it in penny sleeves, and get it all sent out over to you. It's just an easier way. If you can't buy cards locally right now, you can buy those packs from us over at toronto.com and still get to have them opened on the same day. You don't have to wait a week for them to come in the mail.
Yep.
Safid, woo! Did you want us to open these, or do you want to send them sealed? I ran across the warehouse.
He did.
Make Chris run across the warehouse all the time, chat. Feel free to crack them. Okay, I'll let you crack this one, Logan.
Okay.
We'll start over here. All right, so the artwork card is upside down, but you got a Dakon Shadow Slayer. And then we have an Island, a Revolutionist, a Viashino Lashclaw, Scophos Reaver, Fodder Tosser, Terminal Agony, Raving Visionary.
Marsh Flats.
You got the fetch.
Woo!
So you got Marsh Flats and a Sarah's
It's a
Emissary.
retro Marsh Flats too. It's the old border.
You also got a Vindicate, a Vile Entomber, and a Magus of the Bridge foil. All right, go ahead, Bob.
For the next one, you got Swamp, Galvanic Relay, Arcbound Tracker, Faithless Salvaging, Revolutionist, Palladio Scorch, Prismatic Ending, Radiant Epicure, a Marsh Flats. What?
So you got old border Marsh Flats and new border Marsh Flats. That is sick.
This is wild. Yavi Maya Elder, Kitchen Imp, Foil Glinting Creeper, and a Thopter token.
These were left over from a week ago.
Yeah, these are the two that just didn't get open on our stream. We did give the 5 away on the Friday stream, but these were the two left over from us last week, and both had a fetch in it.
That is pretty sick. So I'll put both of your fetches at the top of the pile here, so Drew and Chris will know that they need to top load them and put them in penny sleeves for you. Logan is writing out your note here, so we can list that for you, Safid, and then we'll get those sent over to you. What is tomorrow? Thursday.
Yep.
So tomorrow.
Thursday.
Let me add you to the giveaway list.
That's it is Fighters Week this week, starting tomorrow.
It is, and apparently Holly is like pro level at that game.
That's what I've heard.
And I'm very intimidated. I don't know. Someone was saying that they were going to make round 1 Holly versus Jericho, which is their boyfriend and girlfriend. So, like, why are we trying to break up a happy relationship? I'm not really sure. But let's put them together and watch the chaos ensue. Let's see. Oh, we also wanted to give away web credits, right? So, chat, just be active in the chat for me. No actual keyword here. Type away.
Hurry, everyone,
Tell
say
me
something.
what you'll spend that $25 in web credit on.
Marsh Flats.
Will it be Marsh Flats? Will it be another fetch land?
Panda said no key. Okay.
It's your last chance. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes, and then we're getting out of here. We got to go.
We do.
So 2 minutes, be active in the chat. We will give away $25 in web credit over at trollandtoad.com. Am I missing something?
Nope. Just top away. Just say something.
Just type whatever you want. I really wanted to get cards today. Maybe it will be your day, Panda.
Panda, you should have bought those packs. Without consulting.
Oh, unfortunate. I know how that goes. A lot of my purchases get shot down because of the consulting. Yeah, 1 more minute chat. Just keep being active. Keep typing in the chat for a chance to win $25 in web credit giveaway. Just wanted to say again, thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Yep.
Making these shows possible. As I said earlier in the Pokemon stream, in the chat, you guys may have missed it, but the more sales that we start doing from these streams, the more packs you guys buy while we're live, the more box breaks that you guys buy your way into, the more money that we start generating on these streams, the bigger the giveaways are going to start.
The more of these will give away. Set boosters, man. I mean, not set boosters,
Collector's
but
boosters?
collector's boosters. And those things are loaded. Absolutely loaded.
You guys would get crazy stuff once our revenue starts picking up here. And it's not only going to be the situation of, enter a keyword in the chat and then everybody has an equal chance. You guys that have been here for a while are regulars, are subs, the people that are going to start getting VIP badges very soon in this chat.
Stonks.
You guys will all have better chances of winning some of that stuff. We definitely are wanting to recognize our community and the members of our community that have been with us through thick and thin on these shows.
Yeah. From weather storms to where we can't have streams to having to insert people at random events, having to like launch new shows in the middle of a week, and they were open to it and just loved us regardless.
We appreciate everything that you guys do for us. It is crazy for us to be able to do this for you guys every day, and we're just gonna keep on keeping on. If you guys haven't already checked out that Battle Styles packs link there,
Please do.
check it out. $2.99 for packs of Battle Styles of Pokemon.
Whisper Watson and ask him how his day went today.
He made his money back and then some.
Yep.
So definitely check those out. That deal is just for today. It will end tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Also, if you guys are subs, make sure you guys are in the Discord. The new Discord discount code for 5% off items at Troll and Toad is live in the Discord right now. So you have to be a sub and have your account connected to Discord in order to see the code. Let's go ahead and roll for this giveaway and get Chris out of here because he had to say something. Randall! You got you some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, bud. So you just won $25 in web credit. Again, it will be there most likely tomorrow morning. I'll have Chris or Drew try and take care of that for us. But in the meantime, I am Kelly. This has been Logan. This was the Magic the Gathering Arena stream. We had a lot of fun with you guys today, and we will catch you guys next week. Logan will catch you guys on Friday.
Friday!
Bye!